And hello, everybody. We are talking NV Dems, and we are talking about the convention yesterday, and this is our recap. With me is Shelby Hagensmith, who was at the convention all day, as well as Rick Shepard, who is your CD2 candidate for Congress, and we were all at the convention all day yesterday. You have awesomely been supporting all of my videos from the last couple of days. Thank you so much. I hope you watched them. There is a lot of controversy, right? About what's going on out there. What really happened, when it happened, what it means, how does it all boil down, and we've been trying to make this recap video, I swear, since last night.
I passed out last night, so that wasn't going to happen.
She passed out last night. I thought about doing it anyway. You guys are our hero. Take care tomorrow. Stay safe. Thank you, Mark. You guys are amazing. Thank you. I keep thinking I'm going to do this without glasses, but you know, it just ain't going to happen if I'm going to read. Eric, Amber, Michelle, thank you so much. Please share this into the Bernie groups because we are going to be having some conversations about some shit that went down today.
Any group that believes in democracy, let's just share it all.
That pissed me off,
Seriously.
which is actually what spurred this on. So we had actually a great day. You know, there was a protest. I don't know if you know. And it was very peaceful. It was very well organized. Thank you for the thumbs up. I love it when you guys like and love these things. They're awesome. So
Pizza was dropped off.
Pizza. We had more socialist pizza. And it was at the NV Dems office, which they're now saying was vandalized. And I will post pictures. I mean, actually, if you want to grab my red phone, I can show you the photos.
30 pictures.
Of what it was sidewalk chalk. Actually, it was little children drawing on the sidewalk. And there was children, and I have video. I made a video of it.
Yep.
And so they're calling that vandalism, which I guess technically if you throw toilet paper at somebody's house, that's vandalism too. It's like, it's not permanent. It really isn't a big deal.
It was easier to clean up.
It was way easier to clean up. So then they moved to the Bellagio sidewalk, and there was, you know, bunch of people there, more socialist pizza, which I really think is going to take off. Like,
it was really cool.
It was really cool where, like, you know, just random people just drive up and be like, here, have some pizza. It was kind of cool. So
several large pizzas in a drop-off. Yeah. And someone did an Amazon same-day shipment of many cases of water. That was much appreciated. It was toasty warm outside.
Awesome. Yeah, it was really hot today. So today, what we're going to talk about right now, we're going to go over WTF happened yesterday, because the news is reporting based on the press release that the NV Dems put out, which said that that the hotel security guy made everybody leave for fear of violence. It's bullshit.
Because of the rowdiness of the Bernie supporters.
Right. Okay. No. So this is how it went. 7 o'clock in the morning, we're there. And the day before, many of you who were there will remember the 4-hour line to register, which was crazy. By the time we were done with the cocktail party and went in to get the registration, there was 0 line. It took a few seconds, which was great. I love the hearts. I love it when you guys do those reactions. So I got my credentials the night before, showed up at 7 o'clock the next morning to petition the platform committee because we work on DC statehood. Our big thing, DC statehood, yes. Right? Through the caucus process, got it passed in Lyon County, got it passed in Washoe County, got it passed a couple other places. It went into our county platform in Washoe, our county platform in Lyon, and then it made it into state, and then they changed the language, so we had to go argue to put the language back in. So 7 o'clock in the morning. So by 9 o'clock, we're in the main hall, waiting for everything to get started, because it's supposed to get started at 9 o'clock. And
10 o'clock.
No, 9 o'clock.
Oh, you're right.
The count is supposed to happen at 10
yes.
a.m.
Right. So. Right, at 10 a.m. is the count.
Yes.
Or at 10 a.m. is the end of the tally of the count, and then they do the preliminary. But, so what happened was, the whole day before, and actually for several weeks prior, the temporary rules had been changed. And this was seriously objectioned. Like, I think I probably heard 50 different people talk about the objection to the rules. And this is the piece that I don't think people understand. There's a couple of little nuances to the rules. It's not just, it's Roberta's rules instead of Robert's rules, which I thought was like the best line of the day.
So clever. Woman picked the wrong first name.
Yes. So anyway, so what it is, a couple things about the rules. One, there's a central committee. So you have the executive committee, yes? Executive committee, and then the central committee.
Yeah.
Am I right?
There's a central committee that at the county level and at the state level.
Got it. So but the central committee is, lots and lots of people. And every 2 years, they have to be reelected. And what they did was they...
Democratic of them.
Changed... the rules are posted. I did post them in another thing. It's in a PDF, and I will add them into this so that you can read them at the same time for those who are watching later. But at the moment, I don't have them at my little fingertips because I'm talking to you. So anyway, and thank you so much, Jenny. You've been sharing it everywhere, and it's been awesome. You are my heart. So the rules. What the Central Committee election, they have to get reelected every 2 years. And what they did was they bypassed that, and they said from now on, if you don't want to leave your post, you can just keep it.
Just keep it.
And then it does, they like, oh, it's a voice vote or whatever, but it's not really a voice vote, but they're not campaigning. They don't have, it's like, it's the Supreme Court.
Just William Rehnquist.
Justice, right? Like they are
so
committee members until they decide that they don't want to be committee members or they die. Sounds a lot like a lifetime appointment to me, with just a couple of little, throwaway little thingies. But as a delegate, as a person who's being run by the central committee, it sounds like too much power for too long and no way to fix that. So we didn't like that. So there was a petition for that. And then there was another petition. You can't hear me. You have to press the play button. I swear. I'm talking. Everybody else can hear me, right?
Otherwise you just see our mouths moving.
Give me lots of likes. Give me lots of thumbs up across the screen and tell me if you can hear me.
You can.
Can you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yay! Okay, thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. So then the second thing was the changes in the requirements for how things got passed, right? So this whole thing of voice vote, according to Robert's rules, if you do a yay or a nay, and if you were there the other day, you will realize, and I was sitting right in the middle, so don't think that I was overwhelmed by the Bernie people. The Hillary people were blowing out my eardrums too, so I could hear both sides equally well. But if you couldn't tell the difference between a yay or a nay, you were supposed to then do a stand up and count vote, and actually do a count if the yays and the nays were too close together, which they were. However, in the new rules, it is whatever Roberta says it is. That's the rule. And we're like, no. So the big controversy,
2008,
right? So the big controversy came when we were told we needed 900 signatures or 800 signatures, and we got 900 signatures for a petition, and we tried to present I say we, it is the royal we, these awesome people, these dedicated volunteers who collected those signatures
at 7:30
at
in the morning,
7 o'clock in the morning, and we're out, for 6 hours the day before, in those lines, collecting those signatures, talking to everybody. I mean, those petition takers, they busted their asses because we were told if we got the petition signed, we'd be able to present it, and it would be heard, and the motion would be up for delegate debate. However, what happened was they ended up taking the megaphone away from the person who was trying to get the attention of we have petitions that you said we can give you, and you won't take them. They finally took them and said, okay, we'll check the signatures. It's let's do the aye or the nay, and they're like, well, you're going to need 2/3 vote, 2/3 of the audience to actually pass this, and you're not going to get that, so we're actually not going to put it up to vote.
Or even try to get that.
That's literally, that was the first thing that happened at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I want to make sure you guys get the timeline here, because this is what's crucially important. This is what the media is missing. All of what they're missing.
Because it was still peaceful 12 hours later.
Right.
After this stuff was happening for 12 hours. And they're reporting it wrong.
Right, and they're totally reporting it wrong. Okay.
If they're reporting it at all.
Right.
They're reporting that the Bernie Sanders people are worse than the Trump people. That's what they're reporting, which is completely different if you've ever seen a park after a rally with each group. So, okay, so then 9 o'clock that happened. So 9:30, the Credentials Committee comes up and they said, we're going to give you a preliminary count. Well, okay, first of all, the rules have not been agreed to at all at this point. And we're trying to we want the rules to be amended, which we're hitting stonewalled on. So already by 9 o'clock, and they had made up their minds. Oh, yes, no, trying to reconnect. So I'm using it. Unbelievable. Okay, so then at 9:30, they deliver the preliminary count, which reveals that Hillary now has more delegates than us.
Which wasn't the fact in county.
Which wasn't the fact in county. Now, the other piece of the rules that changed, and this is where everybody is like, this is where I got the, what the fuck does it matter if you're pushing this issue, and why do you want Hillary to lose? Because Bernie statistically is not going to be the candidate, so why do you want him to beat Hillary? Because if he beats Hillary, that could cost her the general election against Trump, and you got to unite behind Hillary. And I'm like, no, we don't. And this is what I need the DNC to understand. It's not just we don't have to. Most of the Bernie supporters that I have met, they won't.
The D behind her name is not going to convince them that they haven't been disenfranchised.
Right.
It's not enough for them anymore, and that's the problem.
And that's the problem. So the big deal with the rules is the other piece that they snuck into the change, and this was in a lawsuit, which don't get me started on abortion laws, but the judge was like, we cannot interfere with the private interworkings of a political organization, and yet a judge can tell women what they can do with their body. Okay. Just saying, putting it out there. The judge should have decided. So what they did was, our original rules said we have a 3-tier process for our caucus. We have our district level caucus, and at the district level, we elect delegates. The delegates then go to county level, and we elect national delegates or state delegates from the county level. Then we go to state, where we elect our national delegates. So in our original rules, it said at the county level is when the delegate win, lose, draw, basic, like who won the state is decided. Not the district level, at the county level. So as you know, at the district level, Hillary won. Partly because she out-campaigned Bernie in the South. He won in the North, she won in the South. She got them to set up caucusing places and get time off for labor, for hotel workers. There was, the monkey business was not monkey business. It was favors and access, and they made it work. So they won the district level caucusing. When we went to county, all those people that had gone and done their little thing and they spent the hour and they did not come and show up. Not all of them, but a significant portion did not come and show up for the all-day event for the county, right? That's where it gets tricky. So the state flipped to Bernie. Now, based on that second tier is when we allocated the delegates, and it was 17 for Bernie and 18 for Hillary. They went and they did a rules change, and that rules change was that made it so that it went back to the tier 1, the district level, which ended up giving Hillary 20 and Bernie 15.
Now, is that 17 for Bernie and 18 for Hillary? Is that after the superdelegates? Or is that without the superdelegates?
Oh, God, I don't even want to start talking about superdelegates yet, because that's where, like, the
big problems happen.
We're not supposed to discuss superdelegates yet.
We're not there yet. We're getting there. We're only at 9:30 in the morning. Can you tell it's going to be a long video? She thinks she has a date. It's like 12:14. I'm like, no, you don't get to go out at 12:14. No, you don't get a date. So, okay. So share it again. Yes, please share into all the Bernie groups. There's only 91 viewers. We really want this to... Oh, I love that. How did you do that? Your face just went up there with all the like buttons.
It's sparkling.
And it's totally sparkling. That was like so cool. You guys are awesome. And I wish that I could actually read everything that you're saying. I'm having a hard time because I took my glasses out. I don't even know if I can see that far with my, oh, that is better. It doesn't have to be so complicated. So at 9:30 they announced the new count, the preliminary count. Two things about that. You have to be in line and registered by 10, right? In line by 10. There were still people that were in line. There were still people that were out there. There were still people getting themselves situated. So a preliminary count and requiring that all those petitions be signed by then was very premature, and I think strategically organized that way. So that was a big problem, okay? So the other piece of that is the numbers like upset people. We did not want to accept the temporary rules because the temporary rules included lifetime appointments for the Central Committee. It included changing how the delegates were awarded. It included voice votes that were only decided upon by Roberta, and her word was final with absolutely no deliberation and no recourse. And the recourse piece is the key, right? If we're in a democracy, we really need recourse. We need to be able to challenge things, and we're not. And that was all locked down. That was a piece of it. So the fight started at 9:30 with that original first count, and that first count was like, hell's no. And we don't accept the count, and we don't accept the rules. But there was no process to fix the rules. We were told we could petition, and all of the Hillary people that we spoke to, the normal everyday delegates, right? We're talking smart people who think it's time for a woman president. They back her 100%, but they're not like DNC members. They're not insiders. They're just people, right?
Not dyed-in-the-wool party people.
Not party people, just people, right?
Who have a different opinion.
So I spoke to no less than 20 of those people, and I said, these are the rule changes that we think are important. And they were like, nothing wrong with that. So here's the issue. This is where it gets tricky. The petitions, I saw petitions go up and a person give the face like, I cannot believe they actually got the signatures, and I don't want to check them, was the face that I saw from, and I was in the second row, so I wasn't that far away. I was almost as close as you could possibly be. And then it was never brought to a vote. The petition to change the rules was never brought to a vote. They assumed that they would not get any Hillary people because the rules were designed to help Hillary steal the state. So,
and you may recall they were walking around in the Hillary camps with signs that read, "Don't sign any petitions."
Right.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It was
democratic.
It was a very interesting thing, okay? So the rules are the big thing. So that was the first battle of the day, was that we said no to the rules. We petitioned to have the rules changed back to something democratic, right? You have to elect the Central Committee. You have to, on a voice vote that sounds like it's even, do an actual count, right? And not sneakily change the deadlines for this and all that. I posted a video with the lawyer last night that you have to watch it. He really explains exactly what happened and why it happened. And then, of course, our next steps are, that's the whole point. What are the next steps? Okay, so now we're at 9:30. We've had our first fight at 9:30, right? Because they would not vote. They would not let us vote. We voted nay. And I mean like the loudest thing. You can hear it. I posted the video of it. You can hear the nays, and it is overwhelmingly no. Now, the number of bodies may have been similar to the number of bodies in the Hillary side, but we were certainly louder, and I mean double.
And if you're going to do a voice vote, that's how you have to go.
That's how you have to
if
go.
If you're going to make sure that you count each vote, do
then
that.
One person, one vote, or voice vote. And we won the voice vote, but she decided the ayes have it and accepted the rules. Okay? So this is the first fuck you. Kind of second fuck you.
Not the first.
Not the first. But and I met her the night before. and thought she was a lovely woman. I met everybody the night before. I thought they were all lovely. I was so excited about the process. Not happy about the line, but thankfully by the time I was done with the cocktail party, the line was over, and I met some wonderful people who got some great awards, and like the best of the best were in that room, including Roberta Lang, who I met, who I thought was lovely. So the next day when all the stuff was going down, I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I'm reading her body language, kind of like, you know, stuff is happening. But I don't understand the context of why these things are happening, right? So that's a piece that we're still investigating. Right now, this video is explaining exactly what happened. Okay, so after refusing to accept the count, after stalling all of that, the ship derailed. The train derailed.
There we go.
The ship, it was a cluster. So, like, we got nothing done for at least another hour, right? Hold on one second. How can you not hear Bernie's supporters and complain they are too loud? Voice vote is so 18th century. Down with Roberta Lang. She is a dictator.
How can you not hear Bernie supporters and then complain that they're too loud? That's exactly what happened, and that's hilarious. And that's that you just pointed it out.
Hilarious that you just pointed that out. So, and I worry because we have heard that Roberta Lang has gotten death threats, which is absolutely ludicrous.
Are you
It is
kidding
unacceptable.
me?
We do not. There is the whole point of Bernie. We are peaceful revolution. If you saw the protest today,
that's not effective. Come on.
I almost yesterday when I saw the guy who had the guitar, I wanted to do like a kumbaya circle, like with both Bernie and Hillary supporters, and literally sit them down in the middle of the room and do a kumbaya and videotape that, because I think we could have had some healing going on there, which I think we definitely need, because every Hillary person that I met, except for I'm going to call it out, the biatch who screamed at an 11-year-old girl and made her cry because she was supporting Bernie and told her what an idiot she was for supporting Bernie.
She was chanting with the Bernie supporters, and this woman apparently got in her face,
an 11-year-old, and made her cry.
And security refused to do anything.
Now, in the rules, it specifically says anybody that behaves like that is out. They knew who she was. They identified her. Oh. They didn't throw her out.
No, they threatened the mother.
They threatened the mother.
Of the 11-year-old girl who was crying.
Right.
To throw her out.
Right. Because, she had an 11-year-old who was
crying. And
supporting Bernie, and then got yelled at and was crying. And So, okay. So it got rowdy. So I'm in the front, and all of a sudden, and there's this like big gap, and we had the deaf people in the front, and there was this big open, kind of space, and they had it a little like with the little fencey thingies off, but it wasn't really like cordoned off really until after there was a rush, a stage rush, and I was like, whoa, okay, people are getting serious. So that kind of stalled everything. They were like, well, now what? So we forced the rules through. We have the rules, but now do you have the program? Do you remember the program? What was supposed to be next?
I never saw the program.
So,
I think I was with Bernie supporters, so I didn't get a program.
You didn't get a program. I didn't get a program either. I'm trying to remember what happened after that. Well, I know that they did a few things where they were trying to get people to say yay, and she was forcing it through when we were clearly saying no and not listening, which was frustrating the group. Like, really, could you imagine if somebody says all you have to do to win $1 million is climb to the top of this ladder and say yes, and so you climb to the top of the ladder and you say yes, and they just don't listen to you. It's frustrating, right? And that was the whole, your school PTA meetings are a well-oiled machine, Eddie. I guarantee you it is a well-oiled machine compared to what happened.
Comparatively.
The guy whispered in her ear. That was fun. So who is that guy, right? That's what I don't remember. He's like the vice chair or something, but he reminds me of like the bad guy in the TV shows. Like, I don't know what it is, just the way he was doing it. There was something cagey going on, and I didn't like it. So So that was the first thing, was the rules. The next big debacle was Senator Boxer. So why did Harry Reid not come to town and talk, right? That's what I don't understand. So then Barbara Boxer comes up, and she got booed because she said, if you boo me, no, what she was trying to unify the party badly, poorly, because we were pissed off. Everybody was pissed off. They weren't being listened to, and they're literally like, you have to unify the party. But at this point, we realize what they're saying is, we have decided that Hillary is the nominee, and you absolutely have to back her, even though you're a Bernie supporter, because we're about to steal this election, and she's going to get the nomination.
So make sure you get on board.
And so you got to get on board with it. And we're like, no, absolutely no. And so she starts saying things like, oh my God. Okay, so she literally did a revisionist history of Hillary's exemplary lifetime service as a civil rights activist.
Referred to us as a minority opinion.
We're a minority opinion. Civil rights activist. So how many of you remember her position on gay marriage?
Wait, 4 years ago or 5 years ago? Because that's about when it changed, right?
There's a big difference there.
Right. No, her lifetime opinion was marriage is between a man and a woman.
Oh, yeah.
How
It's
many
not
of
just
you...
a bond.
Right.
It's a sacred bond.
And how many of you remember her defending the child rapist?
Wait, Bill Clinton? Oh,
No,
I'm sorry. No, that was a joke.
That was terrible.
That was a joke.
I would vote for Bill tomorrow. I have certainty on Bill. I know exactly what I get with Bill. I like Bill. I have certainty with Bill.
I actually had some fiscal responsibility too.
I
appreciate
liked Bill, so no Bill jokes.
So
okay. Anyway, 2013 was when it changes. So the issue that happened was she was literally doing a speech about a woman. We're like, that's not the candidate. I don't know who you're talking about, but you just rewrote an entire 60 years of service. And so there was some booing, and then Barbara Boxer was like, if you're booing me, you're booing Bernie. And to me, that makes no sense. If you're booing me, you're booing Bernie. No, we're booing you. And keep in mind, my entire life, I mean, pretty much, I'm almost positive, my entire life, except until I moved to Reno, Barbara Boxer has been my representative because I grew up in Marin. So she was like a county supervisor, and then something, and then in the state legislature, and then my entire life, she has been my representative. Okay? I've never heard her so bad. So not in touch with reality. And people got upset, and then she just went off on us, which pissed everybody off. So they're still pissed at this, right? And then Nina Turner comes on. She's the Bernie girl. I've never seen her before in my life.
She's wonderful.
Great.
Apparently, she's a badass, awesome Bernie supporter. And she's been on the road for him the whole time. I had no idea who she was. But this poised, confident, inspirational, dynamic, awesome, smart, passionate woman gets up there and she does her talk. And everybody on the internet is saying we are booing her. No!
We are
loving her. We were booing the committee people. Oh my God. You want to succeed, you only need 3 bones: the jawbone, the wishbone, and the backbone. She was amazing, okay? She was inspirational. She had to clean it up online saying, no, they were not booing me. No, that's not what was happening. I need you guys to understand. Watch the videos that I posted. Watch the other videos of people that were there. Use your own eyes to see what happens, because that's not what people are doing. They're reading the newspaper, and the newspaper is going off of, if you hand me that other phone, I can actually look it up. And I can tell you what they said, because I am so pissed off at this, at what they said at the press release that they put out, because it was completely wrong. It was untrue and not correct. And it was, okay. I said,
That's good pod.
Huh? The spin is in full force. This is what the state DNC told the media. The director of security for the Paris Las Vegas hotel informed the state party and representatives from both presidential campaigns that the property could no longer provide the necessary security under conditions made unruly and unpredictable. I'm going to pause right there. Now, keep in mind that they have done a whole bunch of monkey business. This is because this was at the very end where hotel security came in. They've closed off the things. They're trying to push through different legislation. We did get to vote for our precinct or our district delegates, and that was a long, drawn-out process because Clark County had like 3,000 of them, so that took forever. And then we finally got to go back in. The platform committee came in. And in the platform, now keep in mind, one of the other big things that we did not like was super delegates, right? And
that pledged themselves before the primaries.
Because that is the problem with Bernie's campaign from the very beginning, was that before he was running, before anybody knew who he was, before his campaign even had a chance to take life, before the people had spoken, 485 super delegates had come out in favor of Hillary. And basically the media is like, well, she's the candidate. The super delegates have spoken. The people will fall in line. It is an inevitability. And as Rick said, there used to be 50 media companies. Now there's 6 that own everything. And they've decided, everybody has decided that that's what happened. So during the, and what time was the platform resolution? Was it 7 o'clock?
Wait, the platform got struck down?
Yeah, right. That whole thing was
that was probably
7?
not till 8:30 or so.
8:30. Okay, so 8:30, and keep in mind, 7 o'clock in the morning we go argue our platform. We are told our language got in. It's in. We're looking at it. It's in. We're looking at the draft. No problem. We all approve the draft. We're ready to go. Right then they go, we added one more line, and it's a substantive line. And they put it in highlight. Now, I will give them props for transparency. They didn't have to say that. They didn't have to say...
They could have relied on us to catch it.
They could have relied on the fact that they said, it's on a PDF on the website. Go read it if you care. Otherwise, we're going to make a motion to pass it. And the line said, we're going to readdress...
We support future
reform
to superdelegates.
No, future reform to election processes, including superdelegates. Something. If somebody has it and wrote it down, that would be great.
The committee called for 3 votes pro the whole platform and 3 votes against.
Where they asked for speakers,
or 3
right?
Speakers.
Now, this is what I don't understand. You have 3 speakers, right? Great. All the speakers said the same thing. The language is vague. What does that mean?
Pro and con.
Pro and con. The pro people and the con people. And it was funny because the pro people were on the Hillary side and the con people were on the Bernie side. They just assumed they had 2 microphones. They made Hillary right and us wrong. It's just the subconscious way that they designed all of this stuff was just crazy.
And yet everyone had the
same question,
thing.
right? And
clarify the language.
Everyone who spoke said, we just want to take out the words including super delegates. And they're like, no. It's either approve clarify
means.
what does future reform mean?
Give super delegates more power, take them out completely, make them the only delegates. What does future reform mean?
And they would not. They said we can only approve it or deny it. And so, and keep in mind, at county, when we went over the platform, we did amend it, adjust it, tweak it, and make it exact before we agreed to it. And we did it line by line. So what people have to understand is the level of preconceived notions that we had for this. The reason that we had preconceived notions was because this is how it worked at county. This is what we were told would happen when we were here. And rules changed without notice. So that's why when they said you can either approve the platform as a whole or deny it as a whole. We denied it as a whole, so then we had to go through the platform. She begins by reading one line, and she's like, you're going to make me read this whole, every plank? This is going to take forever. Can we go section by section? And we said, yes, we can go section by section.
She didn't actually ask for approval on that.
Well, that's true. She goes, we're going to go section by section. So we approved all the sections down to the last section, which was the election section. And that included our DC statehood plank. That also included overturning Citizens United. That also included taking super PACs and special interest out of the election process. It included like 10 things that were awesome. 10 things. All we wanted was 3 words removed. That's it.
Or clarified.
I voted it's easier to just remove them. So it comes to the last one, and it's like yay or nay, and it was nay, right?
Thinking we could then
thinking we would now go line by line to see the offending piece, right? But they didn't do line by line. The vice chair gets up and says, then the entire thing is stricken. And
the entire section.
And I'm like, was that
a fifth of the platform?
Was that on purpose?
Sure seems that.
That was the first thing I could think of.
It seemed punitive.
Yes. I'm writing a book, and it's called Poison Pills and the Death of Democracy. Those 3 words were the poison pill. Either accept everything as we have written it, regardless of what that will do to you in the future, or we're taking the whole thing away. And it was very, very, it was not good. And they were taking a long time for everything, right?
But not to go line by line.
Now, here's the thing. You're right. They took a long time for everything. They wanted people to leave. They wanted people to go. So the platform thing goes. Then we're all like, what the hell, right? And we're pissed off about that. Then there's a lot of waiting. Then they finally let these, were they 3? Who are the guys? What area?
I
CD3.
literally ran up to the room to recharge phones.
Yeah.
Had some time, came back down.
Still hadn't done anything. But CD3, Congressional District 3, they finally convinced them to let them speak in front of the big room, in front of all the people, right? Because that's where most of the Clark County people were. So the first guy goes and he does his little talk, and it's like, yada, yada, yada. We're not really listening because we're not their district. So our whole area, we're not really listening.
And to be fair, we're spent.
We're
14, 15
we're tired.
Minutes.
Like, our batteries are dead on the phone. Like, I've burned through 2 backup batteries, 2 phones, and I was streaming all day for you guys. And thankfully he had one, so I got to keep streaming for you guys. But we're hungry. Thank God, Socialist Pizza. Oh, I have to backtrack for a second. Socialist Pizza. What a freaking awesome idea. Who thought of that? Oh my God, it was awesome. So the Paris was like, they won't let you bring the boxed pizzas into the room. However, they understood we were tired, and they let them bring it to the hallway, and then people could come out and just grab a slice and go. Right? So it wasn't a formal thing. It was like a on the side snack. And then they let them do that for quite a while, and then they stopped letting them do that. But, you got 3,500 people stuck in a room, and there's no food and no nothing, and people are hungry and they're tired and they got their snacks. But, like one girl, she left and she's got to go take her kid home. And I'm like, you just left and we just had another vote. We just lost you. So crazy, crazy, crazy. So So back to the plank. They let the boys speak. So the first guy talks, the next guy talks. We are wiped. We are totally wiped. The last guy, he's like, what was his name again? I can't remember his name. Somebody post his name. He was so good. And he is a lawyer, and he's a really good lawyer. So he's really good at speaking. And he speaks, and he does his dynamic thing, and he goes, and just one more thing. I move for a recount. And
he tried to cede his microphone.
Right.
He tried.
Super delegate.
He tried to cede his microphone to Adryenn, and Bernie super delegate. You can see the interview that I did with her, the behind the scenes with Adryenn Bilbray. And he tried to give her the microphone. They would not let him do that. So then he made the motion. Right. He made the motion for a recount, which pandemonium. I mean, and I have the video. I was like, I missed him. We were so like, so I wasn't taping any of that. I'm like, you do not care about these campaign speeches, stump speeches. You don't care. So I missed the actual like, oh my God. So I have no proof that they were throwing away the pizzas that came. The only pizzas that I saw were being handed out and eaten by people. So there we go. So, pandemonium, and you can watch that video where he literally says that, and everybody erupts because we're finally getting a freaking recount, right? Now at this point, a lot of Hillary people have left. They are wiped. It is like 9 something, right? And also keep in mind that every piece of information that I got, 2 months out, it was supposed to be the weekend before, and it was the weekend of graduation.
May 7th and 8th.
It was supposed to be May 7th and 8th.
On the national website.
The national website, the state website, every website. And I only knew because I knew somebody, I knew a higher up, that I knew when the actual date was. So they knew when the actual date was, but they didn't publish the actual date, which cost us a lot of delegates because it's graduation weekend. So we were 500 delegates, millennials, short, who were graduating or their families were graduating, which sucked.
They were Bernie supporters.
Anyway, so then they, so we're waiting for the recount, right? And we're waiting for the recount.
As they're chatting in the background, thinking...
They're chatting.
They're
now,
going over logistics maybe of how to do the recount. We haven't voted it in yet, but it's been...
We have never, keep in mind, the preliminary count, okay? The preliminary count was at 9:30 in the morning. We did not approve it. We did not vote on it.
It was supposed to start at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right, but we never...
And there were still Bernie's out.
And there were still Bernie
outside.
Right.
Out in the line waiting to get seated.
When people were being brought in, people were being told to wait in the back, and they were selected not by credential. They weren't identified, but rather those who were wearing Bernie swag were asked to wait while others were brought in. So they were deliberately filtering Bernie people out, making them come in late, and then instead of at 10 o'clock doing their count, they did it at 9:30, knowing full well there was a preponderance of Bernie people outside that would be unable to participate.
Right. So then we're waiting for the recount, and as I'm walking around, we hear that the hotel wants us to leave. Now, I do a lot of events, and I know it's a union hotel, you know, and my thing says, my contracts say that if you're late, it's $200 per person per hour. So I'm looking at that going, you know, we're talking like a couple grand an hour. But in all of the preliminary documents that I got, the convention was Saturday and Sunday, and they were going to try and all do it in one day, but they could, if they couldn't get it all done in one day, be prepared to be there the second day. That was that was all the information that I ever got. That was it. Okay. So we're thinking we're going to sit here, we're going to keep going because we need to get our business fixed. Right, and we're being told
and we still have delegates to elect.
We have not elected our delegates, our at-large delegates at all.
At-large,
nothing. Right. So we're waiting. I'm walking around. There's a video of me walking around, and you're going to hear me asking someone if he knows what's going on. That someone was a Metro cop. So the cops were already there at 9 o'clock. He's hanging out. He's just standing there. And I go, so what are we doing? And he goes, I don't know. I go, we're just waiting and seeing. He goes, I guess. Like, no idea. We don't know what we're doing. They know what they're going to do. That's why they had the cop there early. They had all of the cops and all the law enforcement there early. We are literally like this. Oh my God, is it ever going to be over? This is about as aggressive as the Bernie side got.
And to be fair, the Hillary side was just as laid back.
They were.
Oh yeah.
We're 16 hours into this.
We're done.
We're spent.
Yeah. Wiped. There is not enough water.
10-something at night. We've been there since 7 o'clock.
We've been screaming.
There are children napping in the corners.
Yes. So what happened was people are coming around and they're like, they're going to ask us to leave. They're going to tell us that we have to leave at 10 o'clock. Don't move. And we're like, we're having a sit-in. Okay. we're having a sit-in. Still not dangerous. No danger, no violence. We're having a sit-in. We're going to finish our business. We're going to elect our delegates. We're going to have our petition heard. We are going to vote on our petitions, which still have not been voted on. Okay?
And have a vote on the motion for
a recount. And have our recount. Now, at this point, we definitely have a 2/3 majority. And so this is the issue. Okay? So we have an open motion on the floor, properly brought, and I'm pretty sure he's a delegate or a superdelegate, so properly brought motion on the floor, and it is, I believe it was seconded. Was it not seconded?
Yeah,
it was seconded.
By half the room.
By half the room seconded it. Anyway, so the security woman said you had the room until midnight. Yes, we had the room until midnight, but it had to be cleaned and empty by midnight, which was the issue. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, midnight, I get it, that we're contracted till midnight, but we're in overtime, and it's been 17 hours already, and security's like, I just don't know what we're going to do.
Cleaning staff is standing
Cleaning
by.
staff is literally standing by, right? They're like ready to go. So I'm thinking they're trying to negotiate fees amongst the different parties, the different candidates, to see who's going to pay for this, how we're going to do this, because everything's all about money.
And what's going to happen
tomorrow. What happens next is that Roberta Lang comes out and they force pass their Central Committee elections, which we have not had been asked to yay or nay anything. There was no voice votes, no nothing. There's an open motion that was ignored. She comes out for a recount. She comes out, pushes through party business. I can't even understand a word she's saying. She's talking so fast. It's like da-da-da-da-da, second, da-da-da-da-da, passed, boom, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And then the room erupts like, what the heck are you doing? This is not okay. And she literally gavels it closed.
You can see her on the video. She pulls up, she's speaking. She surreptitiously pulls up the gavel. She has it in her hand, and then she says, all right, motion for meeting adjournment, seconded, passed, and
out. And security, now keep in mind, at this point, you've seen the photos of all the cops in front. So they know what they're doing is corrupt. They know what they're doing is not right. They know what they're doing is, at the very least, unethical. Okay? And they do it anyway. So of course people get upset. We've been waiting all day to get our business done, and we're now being told not only are we not getting our business done, it is not going to be done. Does that mean that 12 delegates don't get sent to national at all? So Nevada is 12 short? What exactly does that mean? What the hell are they doing? When do we reconvene? Are we going to be in 2 other rooms? Then we hear from the back that, I'm hearing from back channels that they could not reach the candidates or the candidates' staff who are in charge, their representatives. And I'm like, read the rules. Any delegate, all they had to do was ask. Voice vote, all they had to do was ask. We could have solved this problem. We could have got everything done. And you left at 9:45, Stephen. Let me tell you, you left right before the chaos.
You missed the show.
You missed the shit show, because then all the Wi-Fi signals were jammed, which was super, super fun. And I was like, are they doing that so that we won't have video if something does go down? Because let me tell you, I'm nice, but sometimes the Secret Service doesn't like me. Because I had a selfie stick that I didn't want to give up. And here, with the convention, we got these huge things or whatever. But, I was a little trepidatious. I was recording the entire time, and my audio went, but the video signal kept coming in and out and getting stagnant. But
to be fair, at that point, everyone whipped out their cameras and started getting online. So there was a huge
The bandwidth was tested.
Yeah. So it was a really touch and go there for a minute, right? So they said, so let me read you the rest of the statement that they said, because it's complete bullshit. Paris Las Vegas hotel security requested a prompt conclusion to the event. No, they didn't.
No.
The event was scheduled to end at 6 o'clock. I was told to prepare for it to go till midnight weeks beforehand. I was prepared for it to go to midnight. They knew it was going to go till midnight. This was not a new thing. It was already planned. The Hillary buses left at 10.
10-something.
10-something. They literally cleared out the entire Hillary side.
Well, good 25, 30% of it at least.
25, 30. I mean,
it wasn't already gone.
Look at my video. Like, that side was pretty darn empty, right? And the buses left. So the buses were planned to take those people home to their rural areas, to get them home. They knew the convention was ending Saturday night, right? The girl in the black is hot as hell. Her name is Shelby. She's ridiculously wicked smart. I mean, like, crazy hot smart. You think the outside is good, the brain is better. So Paris Las Vegas hotel security requested a prompt conclusion to the event. Therefore, recognizing the business still to be conducted by the convention, the state party chairwoman accepted a motion to agree to the party leader and elected official and at-large delegate slates as submitted by the presidential campaigns. She also accepted a motion to adopt and elect the state central committee pursuant to the rules as submitted by the county party chairs. Remember, they changed these rules to make them lifetime appointments unless they don't want it.
And the rules were not adopted.
And we never adopted the rules. This allowed the state party to properly adjourn the state convention. Bullshit. There was nothing proper about it. I mean, there's nothing. Anybody who's ever served on student council and had to live, eat, breathe, sleep, live Robert's rules knows there was absolutely nothing proper about that. And that's where it all goes horribly wrong. So they are putting out to the media that they are the victims of these horrific Bernie people.
And the fights. The fights that took place on the Bernie side.
They were non-existent.
They were non-existent. There was one guy at the very end. He lifted up a chair. Looked like he might have been thinking about throwing it.
Threat of violence.
Right? Understandable. He was pissed off. Bernie people got the chair, put the chair down, and hugged it out. I'm not even kidding.
He calmed down.
Till he calmed down.
And nothing was going to happen.
Okay? So not like tackled him and restrained him. No. Hugged it out. Okay?
The best part was 3 hours previously, more than that, earlier in the day, when I took my little siesta, there were already articles about fights that were happening at the Bernie delegation. Fights that were happening at the NV Democratic Convention because of Bernie delegates. Mm-hmm. And you look at the one video, the one few second video that every media outlet showed as the fights that were breaking out. It's two people yelling at each other. They start to kind of close into each other, and all the other delegates pull them apart, kind of wrap their arms around them, push them towards opposite sides of the room while they're still yelling at each other. Those were the horrific fights that were breaking out because of the Bernie delegates earlier in the day.
In one instance where Roberta was getting cornered into something, she's like, medical emergency over there. I was standing right there. I'm like, where? Where's the medical emergency? I didn't see a medical emergency. I'm not saying there wasn't one, but I did not see one, and I was right where she was pointing. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay, so we finally file out. And I did another video and showed you kind of, I missed the best part, which was like this processional of Bernie love that was just so cool. And as I got my phone out and I'm like dying, I am literally on like beyond the last battery of the last battery. I did tape some of it and got the tail end of it. And they were orderly, peaceful, and a little loud. So what? They're allowed to be loud.
And didn't want to go. Because their business had not been concluded yet.
We did not get our business done.
We're 16 hours in, and all we're wanting to do is keep plugging along until we get this completed. No one asked to leave. No one was offered the opportunity to choose to leave or stay.
Yes. There was only one vote at 9:30. It wasn't even a vote, really. It was kind of a vote. It was like, here's our preliminary count, and let's accept the preliminary count. Oh, we have to accept the temporary rules so we can accept the preliminary count. And it's like, oh, bullshit, no. So that was 9:30. So that was the issue. You know, and it was all day was like this, you know. They shuffled us around. They told us this was going to happen. Then we'd come back and do this. And it just did not happen. So the organization was poor. But I think the problem was, you know, there was a log jam of we are not going to accept railroading. So then what happens? We will not accept railroading. Now this is where I got pissed today. And I apologize.
Because then we got blamed for not accepting railroading, like that was somehow undemocratic of the Bernie delegation to not accept the rules as they were supposedly
rigged in Hillary's favor.
Down the
We preferred to have neutral rules, and so the Washington Post article says we wanted rules that would be more favorable to our candidate. We wanted rules that would be more favorable and fair, period. Right? For future candidates, not just our candidate. Yes, our candidate happened to have taken back the state at county convention. Lo and behold, that can happen. And so that was undone by this secretive last minute notification change thing. And that was not good. That was terrible. And so I'm trying to get my thing, but I can't. Sorry. My other phone is updating everything, so I can't get you the message. But basically what was asked today was, you know, why does it matter? Why can't you rally behind Hillary?
And what will this change?
And what will this change if you're right? If you can get people to understand and accept that this was stolen, that this was done, that these were blatant disregard for the will of the people.
What will standing up for democracy change, though, Adryenn?
Right.
What will it change?
What? Fuck you. Pardon my... Seriously. What will it change? Okay? We are on the precipice. You know, I admit I was a Ron Paul girl, okay? I would have taken a bullet for Ron Paul. Ron Paul revolution.
Still would. Still would.
Okay.
Ron Paul.
Still would. Still would. Can't help it, right? It is time for us to change the way things are done. And this is what the population is saying. Look at what Trump has done, okay? Why did it work? Because he's not establishment political. He's not owned by the RNC, which scares the living daylights out of them because they need someone that they can control. Is anybody ever going to control Donald Trump? Nope. No, totally not going to happen.
Also scary.
Scary, admittedly. However, not an owned politician, right? So on the DNC side, they picked Hillary. That's the horse they're backing. Before anybody else was in it, they did. All those superdelegates were pledged. Even when their states, 19 states went to Bernie. And those superdelegates are still with Hillary. Those states, all of those superdelegates should have to go with Bernie. But they're not. And they don't have to. That's what the problem is with the superdelegate rules. Okay? So statistically, can Bernie win? I don't know. If there's enough outrage, how many primaries are left? 3, 4 major ones? Enough that if he wins 65% of those primaries, yeah, numbers-wise, he can take her in the popular vote.
And then there's the contested convention.
And then there's the contested convention, right?
Still want to see one.
And let me tell you, if this convention was anything like what Philly is going to be like,
plenty of contest.
Plenty of contest. And it's really, really not okay. We need, let's see, if the NAACP acted like that, it would be a legendary joke forever. Fighting, they seemed drunk too, and a few looked like lifetime addicts. How do they choose these people? Nobo, Seymour, I don't know who he's talking about.
Well, let's not be hastily judging the drunk.
Okay, says the drunk. Jersey and California are the ones we need to win. Yes, that is very, very true. So this is the thing.
Yeah,
so
this should be the wake-up call for California. I'm expecting you to bring it.
California votes. They'll steal yours. That was the chant today. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that was the chant today.
Right. So today there was a protest. It was very peaceful. If you want to see people who don't know each other than they're all Bernie supporters and they're implementing Robert's rules in a parking lot during a protest rally, trying to figure out, organize, elect leadership, figure out a plan, like it was a beautiful thing to behold. These people.
The only time their voices got sharp was to say, guys, let's not leave any of our trash. We don't want to be called animals. We have to pick up. That's for other people to do, to leave the parking lot a mess. We'll do chalk drawings of what we believe. We'll try and get our message across, but let's not leave any trash. We really need to be good about this. And that's when their voices got sharp. That was it.
That was it, right? And seriously, watch the video. I taped. The guy was so soft-spoken. I was like, I hope they can hear him. Like, they were just so mellow and really, really easy. So what does it matter? You know, getting down to an hour here. What does it matter? Well, do you guys think it matters?
What does democracy matter anyway?
So Rick here is running for Congressional District 2.
Yes, I am.
And no less than 3 times, I have been told by professional campaign organizers, people who are already elected to the House and to the Senate, and that he needs to stop talking. That the only
I've been
way...
pretty quiet this time.
You've been very quiet this time, but I want you to speak up because I want people to understand and fall in love with you. Because really what they said was, if you have a position on an issue, then other people who don't have that same position won't vote for you. So you have to have no positions, and you have to be milquetoast, and you have to be in the middle of it, and you can't actually take a position. You can't pick a candidate, because if you do that, then you're not going to get elected, because you're going to lose the other half of the vote. So the only way to win is to not stand for anything.
Make a lot of speeches, don't actually say anything.
That was what we were told he needed to do. And I said, hells no. Why do I want Rick? Because he's badass. He'll do what I do, exactly what I do, and be like, big old flashlight. That shit's not cool. We got to change that. So, you know.
And if you disagree with him, you'll know what you're disagreeing with him on.
Right.
If you agree with him, you'll know why. It's, I don't know, is that the way democracy's supposed to work?
Seems reasonable to me.
Right?
That's what
I
I've been
think,
doing, but
yeah,
I could be
so
wrong.
it's Rick Shepherd, RickShepherd.com. Go check him out. But, you know, we were all at the convention together, so we're like a little pack party, right? Like, we look out for each other, and we were there all day together, and it was disappointing. It was hard, right?
I wasn't even a delegate, and I think we said this at the same time, and one of our other friends that was a delegate said the same thing. Felt violated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, this is not how I want my country to be run. I don't want my election stolen. I don't want party politics and petty power plays to decide who my representatives are. I want someone who I identify with that person because they are passionately representing my ideals, my goals, and I want to vote for them. Which is why, as you all know, if you've been watching my videos for the last year, I actually don't care who you support. They have to. You know why? They have to. You have to passionately support them. They have to represent you, and I want you to get out and vote and volunteer and everything. Because the more people we have in the process, the better the results that we'll get. Overwhelmingly, every time. If we succumb to voter apathy, then that small group of people get to control everything, and that taste of power, that is what is leading to all this bullshit now. All of it.
Self-perpetuating power structures are not the way to get your vote heard.
Yeah.
Giving into them doesn't help.
Yeah.
We absolutely need to address this caucus.
Yeah, we do. This is, you know, they don't want a caucus. They want to go back to a primary, right? But the great thing about being first in the West is we matter and we count. And the great thing about having a caucus is we actually get conversations started that carry on through the entire election, and we're the people who start those conversations. That's what we do, is start conversations. So what I want to know is, what do you think? What's next? Rick is sleepy. Oh, people, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleepy. And why is it that
It's not like we had a 17-hour primary yesterday.
I know. And why is it I'm always making videos for you guys at midnight? I kid you not. Like, my hair's usually... I have makeup on. Tonight I have makeup on. Usually I'm, like, in my pajamas, hair in a bun, glasses on, because I walk around like this, but glasses on, can't see a thing, talking to you.
I point to signs.
All by myself at midnight when I'm in a hotel. I brought friends to the hotel this time, so I wouldn't be by myself.
We've been outside protesting all day after a 17-hour primary. And I got to get up at 5 for a flight back to Reno.
I know. Revolution sleeps for no one. Yep. That is true. That is very, very true. 4 a.m. in New York City. Okay, so we're going to wind this up. You guys have been amazing, but I want you to type in the comments right now, where are you and what time is it? Right? We're in this together. I look great. Thank you. Oh my God. I do my makeup. I do my makeup is okay. Sleep is overrated. I say sleep is for the weak. You're beautiful. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was to you. Was that to me or to Rick? Rick is cute.
I'm not even considering
Rick is cute. He's got great witty one-liners. It's really good. So we 3 are rock stars. We've been trying to do this for a couple of days. I should have brought my notes out. I had a whole other thing, but it's on this phone, and I was trying to record on this phone, but then this phone didn't fit in the little holder thingy because it won't update. And so, you ended up with off the top of my head what I could remember. But the big thing
that was off the top of her head. Just marvel at that.
Yeah.
Was off the top of my head.
Off the top of her sleep-deprived head.
My sleep-deprived head, yes. And so the big pieces were they cut the entire election section out of the platform, which got rid of a lot of really important stuff. And
just voting rights for 700,000 people.
Yeah, 700,000.
$20 billion in federal taxes.
But have no vote. Yeah, but that's okay. They don't need that. So that's a big thing. We do have a podcast, actually, if I could just get off my ass and do it, and it's called IndieVoters.com. Because we represent indie voters. I interviewed all of the presidential candidates before I chose Bernie, because for this cycle, especially in Nevada, Trump didn't need my help. And I am married to a general election ballot that does not include special interest super PACs or questionable financing methods. And that is what I'm looking for. So that's the whole thing. Please help me and my daughter go to the DNC. Okay, so there's things in there. Yes, the podcast, we are going to be launching that. Not at 1 o'clock in the morning, so they'll actually be more chatty.
When we're at our best.
No. That's when you make me talk all the time. They talk way more in real life than they did now. So, California District Delegate Shelby Garcia, you need to go flip all those Hillarys you can. And
document
get the vote out.
that happens.
Get the vote out. Talk. Share. Oh my God. Please, please, please share this video. The media is taking it all out of context. So even
they're making things up.
They're making things up. In Reno, it's like the Democratic convention ends in violence. I'm like,
Rick.
No, it didn't.
That was a really intense fight, like physical altercation you and I just had when you looked at me.
Yeah, I feel violent.
Yeah.
I may sue.
That was literally the extent of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Bring your portable batteries and be sure to stream as much as you can.
Yes.
You need documentation because there won't be anything trustworthy provided by any mainstream media outlets.
No. And so, so even our local news. So I'm literally trying to debate with this person who wrote this article, and I'm like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. What they said happened at the end was that it was closed and we wouldn't leave, and so then the cops were called.
Oh, and at some point they said because of the violence, they had to call the cops.
That is not what happened. What happened was it was over. They wanted to force close the convention without our consent and did so knowing it was going to cause an uproar. So they brought the police in. They were there 45 minutes before they force closed it. They had everything ready. There was no violence. There was no threat of violence. We were literally like this.
There was a threat of a recount.
There was a threat of a recount.
The least violent, most boring thing you can do.
Right. Paperwork.
And that was the threat.
That was the threat. We called for a recount. They did not want to do it. They didn't want to address it. They didn't address it. That's what happened. Everything else that you read in the media is bullshit. Watch the videos. I made a playlist. All you have to do is go to my fan page, click videos. The very first playlist has all the videos, and all the videos will be there. And just watch the videos, and you'll look at it and you'll go, holy shit.
And then you'll know what happened.
And then you'll know what happened.
It'll be like you were there.
And that's, except you didn't have to spend 17 hours with all those people.
It won't be like you were there.
It won't be like you were there. No, your feet won't hurt. I swear to God.
I didn't even wear heels today because yesterday was so exhausting.
Oh, and I'm so, my foot is, tomorrow morning I fly home, and then I go straight to the foot surgeon to have foot surgery. Isn't that fun? I walked on this for you guys so I could be there and document everything. I took one for the team.
Such a team player.
I am a team player. Okay, so that's what happened.
Thanks, guys.
So please share. Please tell your friends. Love you. Love you. I didn't see enough people telling me where they are and what time it is. I really want to know. There's 192 of you. Where are you? Thank you. You're welcome. Trooper?
Thank
You're
you
a
all very
trooper.
much for being a part of
Donate
this.
to Bernie?
Thank you.
Yes. Donate to Bernie.
You can also
And,
donate at rickshepard.com.
You can also donate to rickshepard.com.
To Nevada, vote
Yeah.
Rick Shepard.
Because here's the thing. He's like super awesome on the environment. And the one thing that you really want to make sure you know is that we actually have a place to live.
Yeah, the guy I'm running against, the incumbent, is an establishment Republican. He has a 3% approval rating on the environment. He voted to shut down the government, defund Planned Parenthood, repeal Obamacare. He voted to deny health care to the 9/11 responders. He's trying to steal federal lands and turn them over to the state so they can be sold off for development interests, basically turning the parks and trails that we love in Nevada into warehouses and tailings ponds for mining. This is what I'm trying to prevent. So with your help, we can get in front of this and stop it before it happens.
That's awesome. I love that you guys are posting all these. I mean, you're from all over the country. I love that Central Time 409. Why am I up? Because you're awesome, Stacy. That's why. So that I see BLM is corrupt. Oh, don't get me started. We'll do a whole nother video on that. Where are you from? Flying home. Okay, I am from the San Francisco Bay Area, from Marin County. You are from?
I am from Northern California, Sacramento, Roseville area.
You are from?
Reno, Nevada.
We all live now in Reno, Nevada.
Reno?
And at the moment, we are in the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas. So that is it. You've got my vote. Thank you. Dustin, you're in CD2 because you said you're home already. Please help. We need volunteers. Spread the word. We are going to get this thing done.
Door knock with me.
Door knock. And then Shelly's going to handle California. She's got everything handled at their convention. So everybody hook up with Shelly. Let's see. I'm up because my wild child. That's so funny. Seriously, I'm up. Do you guys remember when I was in a hotel by myself, midnight? I was going to the airport early in the morning, so I was at an airport hotel. The traffic is right next to me. I'm right next to the off ramp, and I can't hear the traffic because it's so soundproofed, but I can hear my neighbor snoring. And I was laughing so hard. And I was like, what the heck am I going to do? Like, who am I going to tell? And so I told you. So you guys never cease to amaze me. I love you. You are like the most awesome fans in the world. You are awesome at sharing. You are super supportive. You are great to talk to. You're always there for me and for everybody else. And you always do the right thing, which makes me super happy. So thank you so much. Tell a friend, share a friend, watch this video with a friend. Point the media to this. Anytime you see a story in the media about what happened that sounds even remotely like the wrong thing, not what happened, please send them this video, send them the link to this video and say, you got that wrong, that's not what happened. And let's correct the narrative. Let's not let them steal this election. Let's not let them decide how we're portrayed in the media, because it's just not true. So, with that,
Good night.
good night.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.